If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you.
The answer is yes, it's actually very easy. Me personally, when I was a freshman, I did have a little trouble finding my way around the school. And like even now, I still like kind of forget where I am. But if you really just break it down, our school is just one big compass. It's broken down into North Wing, South, East, and West. And then there's M Wing too. So like the north side of our school, that's North Wing, the south side of our school, that's South Wing. And then M Wing goes to the middle. And the way the numbers work, it's broken down to floors. So if the first number is 0 or 1, it's on the first floor. If it's 2 or 3, it's on the second floor. So let's say your room number is N23. Your class is in North Wing on the second floor because the first number is a 2. And then you just look for the 3 at the end, and that's where your class is.
School is very simple, it's very easy, it's just like a box, trust me. The wings are right there for you, they're all up on the doors and everything. You should be totally fine.
Meet people in high school is by joining different clubs.
I would say if you want to make new friends in high school East, my advice would be to join a club or a sport. If you want to join a club, you can look at the list by the lunchroom, and it has the names of all the clubs next to the teacher that runs it. You can email that teacher by going on the TR School website to the directory. Also, in the mornings during homeroom, clubs will announce the days they are meeting and where they are meeting.
The best way to meet new people is to be yourself, be your true self, and to participate in activities and different clubs. At least for me, when I joined theater, I had such an amazing experience with all the kids there. We were all such a loving and such a helpful family with each other, and a bunch of different sports I play, like soccer and football and tennis. And we all build a family, and we're just such a family here at the school, and we all bond very well. So if you're just yourself and you participate in a bunch of different activities, you're going to get there and you're going to meet new friends.
Join the clubs and sports that are outside of your comfort zone. Don't always do what your friends are doing. Have your own interests, because you will find maybe lifelong friends in places that you never thought to look before.
Every single club, which may sound crazy, but no, I am not involved in every single club. But as an outsider, I can see that each individual group at High School East is very tight-knit, and it is a family. And that's one really good thing about High School East, because I personally believe that every single club is a home, and that you can find your home within High School East. Like, I personally am involved in Student Council, the theater company, FBLA, ambassadors, and a few other minor things, but I can see from an outside point of view that the football team has a really good time and that the track team has a really good time. And once you find your group, like, you'll know, and those are the fun clubs to be a part of. No group is above another. It's just what is a good fit for you, and you'll find that fit.
You know, all of them are great in their own way. You can find something you like, we probably have it. Me personally, I do football, wrestling, and baseball, but all the sports are good. Those are just ones that I do. And then I'm involved in the history club and the ski club. History, I like those two because you go on, like, they're all based around like trips. Ski club, we went to Killington, Vermont this year for a trip, and then history club, every year we go to Washington, D.C. Last year we went to Boston, and there's a lot more. I know every year they go to medieval times, and my freshman year they went to Annapolis. It's a good time, but really all clubs are great. Those are just the ones that I do.
I've been playing field hockey and softball since my freshman year, and I did not know how to play field hockey in middle school. I joined freshman year and I fell in love with it, and I made so many friends. So if you do not know how to play the sport, if you've never done it before, that's totally okay. They will teach you. We have freshman and JV teams. It's totally okay. So definitely join. Do not be afraid. That is how you make friends and get you involved with school. But if you're not a sports person, that's totally okay. There's so many clubs. I'm in student council, ambassadors, ski club. There's so many clubs. And even if you're not even interested in that, maybe you're interested in music and theater, our theater program is excellent. But the best way to get involved with the school is by being in Raider Nation and going to the football games. They're so much fun. We have the best student section in my opinion. It's so much fun. You'll never be bored on a Friday night. And just go with some of your friends, home games, away games, if you can get a ride. So much fun, definitely recommend it.
Well, first off, peer leadership, because it teaches you skills that you can take outside of the classroom, and it helps you take responsibility within your school. Another one is team. It's an interactive club between North, South, and East. You will meet so many new people in this club, and it is very rewarding to give back to your community. As far as sports, high school soccer has been one of the highlights. Are people that I will remember 20 years down the line, and I've made memories that I will never forget, and the coaches here make all the difference because they are people that will go above and beyond for you and be there no matter what.
Well, in the beginning of the day, you basically have a period called, your first period, and then right after that, you have what it's called homeroom. And during this duration of time, this is when someone in the loudspeaker tells you what's happening at the end of the day, or any activities that are happening throughout the week, and that's really where you get the main source of your information. And if you're unsure, because you kind of missed some stuff, you could always ask the office or a guidance counselor or just anybody, because there's always someone listening.
Besides listening to the morning announcements during homeroom at High School East, you can also stay updated through the Instagram account at TREtoday_the Raider Way. The account is run by students from High School East, and they post about football games, sports meetings, clubs meeting, homecoming bids, literally everything you can imagine. So I find it very convenient and think that every High School East student should follow it, so that way if you miss something in the morning, you can find it here at any time you want.
My experience at East, every teacher I've had, if you have a problem, there's no issues going up to them and saying, hey, this is going on, and they're usually very understanding as to homeworks or test grade, making up a test. It depends, but I'd say that they're very understanding.
Yes, they are very understanding. Pretty much all the teachers I've had at East have been super understanding, and they encourage you to go and talk to them. So don't be afraid to reach out to them if you have any questions, or if you have a late assignment, or if something's going on. They encourage you to reach out to them, so don't be afraid.
Obviously get that you're going to have some really nice and easy teachers you're going to have throughout the years, and you're going to have some more stricter teachers. But I feel that all teachers are always understanding. If you're a good student and you don't ever slack off and you always give it your all, if you're ever running into a problem or you need more time on an assignment, they're always going to be there and to listen to you. I would say the best thing to do is to approach your teacher either before or after class and just let them know what your concerns are. Also, if you need extra help, they're more than willing to help you get your grades up, so I'm sure that's not going to be a problem.
So for the freshman academies, all incoming freshmen are broken up into either black team, silver team, or blue team. And the purpose of them is kind of group you with all the incoming freshmen. Some people you know, some people you don't. It's kind of like a bonding experience. And there's a teacher assigned to each team. For me personally, I was on the silver team, and Miss Daniel was my teacher. And it's fun because at the end of the year, you have this freshman field day where you do things like musical chairs, tug of war, relay races. It's a lot of fun, and you're scored on things based off how well you do in those events, best dressed team, and most spirit. And the winner of it all gets a party at the end of the year, and it's a lot of fun.
You can graduate high school successfully without taking honors or advanced classes, as long as the classes you take meet the requirements that you need in order to graduate. You can find these graduation requirements through the TRS school website or just by asking your guidance counselor. Higher level classes are really just there to help boost your college resume, to show to colleges that you are willing to challenge yourself and take harder classes.
It really kind of just depends on what kind of student you are and what you're looking to do after school, so that's kind of a decision that's left up to you, and no, you really don't need them to graduate.
Absolutely not. AP and honors classes are great if you can pick up material super fast, but if you can't, you have to be honest with yourself. If you know you might need more time to pick up math or English,
I would definitely recommend taking a CP class. There's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. You just go at a different pace.
Absolutely not. As long as you try your best, study hard, and ask for help when you need it, you will graduate successfully.
I kind of think this doesn't really have a black or white answer. I think it kind of depends on who you are as a student. I do believe though that studying shouldn't take up all your time. You have to have a nice balance between social life and also education. I do think it's very necessary though to study and take your education seriously. However, I don't think you should be spending hours a night studying. You really have to prioritize your time, and that way you won't find yourself studying for hours and you have shorter periods of studying but still effective studying.
It seems like one giant community where everybody's there for each other, and there's always going to be someone for you to turn to if you need them.
We're a national school of character, and that really shows every day throughout the hallways. We have a lot of pride in our school. Everybody goes to football games, Raider Nation, make sure you all go to football games. I better see you all there. It's just so fun. Every pep rally's fun. We really support each other. It's just a really good school, all-around environment, and I'm really happy that I got to spend my 4 years here.
High school is definitely something that I especially love about this school. We are definitely a school of character, and everybody's always very, very friendly. As a freshman, then coming in, it can be seen as very intimidating, but really the upperclassmen were once in your shoes, and they're always going to be there to help you, whether you meet them whether you meet them in sports or activities, or maybe you bump into them in the hallway and you needed help with something, or in the library. Don't ever be scared to ask anyone for help, because they're always going to help you. And teachers at our school are so incredibly amazing and so caring and kind.
Personally, and I'm not even just saying this because I'm biased, I think that East has the best atmosphere and environment out of all three of the high schools in Tom's River. Every single person who's in that building wants to be there. They want to be there for you, they want to be there for each other, and themselves, really. No matter what, everyone walks into that school with a smile on their face, and even if they're having a bad day, you'll always find a way to smile throughout the day at some point, just because your teachers, your peers, and honestly just the entire atmosphere at East is like no other, and you're going to find yourself loving it there.
It's very exciting. Being on the football team and being on the field and seeing the energy and hearing the energy Raider Nation brings every Friday night is amazing. It is truly something special. And they make away games feel like home games, and it's definitely something to be a part of.
If you are taking a bus to High School East, in the morning it will pick you up about 15-20 minutes before the first bell rings, which is 7:05, and our first class begins at 7:15. It will drop you off either by the cafeteria or the gym, where you will wait until the 7:05 bell rings if you arrive early. Then you will go to your locker or your first period class. In the afternoon, the buses tend to leave pretty quickly, so you really want to try to get to your bus before 1:40. It is pretty hectic in the hallway, so if you have to go to your locker, make sure it's either quick, close to the buses, or you absolutely grab everything you need before your last period class.
Guidance counselor is basically your rock. Personally, you could really go to your guidance counselor for anything, honestly, whether that be like college stuff, school problems, home problems, or just basically anything. They're there for you, and I want you to know that, because I feel like not everyone likes to use them for their advantage, because they really do help, honestly. So to schedule a meeting with your guidance counselor, it's super easy. All you do, you go to the guidance office, and there's these pink slips just on the front desk, and you just take one, you fill it out. Usually it has your name, your homeroom, your homeroom teacher, just basic information, and then you just fill that out and make sure you check off who your guidance counselor is, and then if you don't know, it's also written on the form, and you just put it in the bin, and then that's it, and then they'll give you the slip in your homeroom when they have scheduled you.
I was pretty confused about this freshman year too. So the guidance office is in lower M wing. It's right there, you'll see a sign, and to schedule a meeting, you go in there, and there's most likely to be 2 seniors at the desk, so they can help you if you have any questions. But basically, you grab a slip, you write your name, it has some questions, your grade, stuff like that. And they'll schedule, you put it in a little bin, and you get an appointment either even that day, sometimes if it's in the morning. But the next day or that week, you'll get called down and you can talk to your guidance counselor.
In the mail towards the end of the summer, you will receive your homeroom. You will not receive your full day schedule until the very first day of school. Although you might see this as a downfall, I must admit it is kind of fun and surprising to walk into a class and be surprised at who you see. Unlike middle school, high school has different people in every single class. Especially for your electives, you could be mixed with juniors, seniors, and sophomores.
Another frequently asked question is when you receive your schedule. So the way it works for high school is you get your homeroom mailed to you first, and then you'll go to that homeroom and they'll give you your schedule then. And that can be worrying for some people, but just keep your head up and don't get intimidated by the bigger building or the new halls because you guys will do great.
So you need 4 years of an English. You also need 3 years of a math, history, and science class. 2 years of world language. You also need 4 years of gym and health, but you can obviously opt out of that during option 2, your junior and senior year. You also need personal finance, which also comes into play your junior and senior year. You can also do that option 2 and not take the actual class. And you also need an art, career, and technology elective.
I know a lot of people think about that. I thought about that when I was a freshman. Sometimes teachers like to hand out books the first day or the first few days of school. So for that, I'd say bring a backpack. At orientation, I don't know what's going to go on with that in August, but you'll get your locker. So if you want, if you feel more comfortable with that, you can put your books in your locker. But I would say, personally, I'd bring a backpack. I bring a notebook. I don't bring any binders yet because you don't really have any homework the first few days. Basically, just bring a notebook. Your teachers will go over what you need for that class, like binders, paper, all that stuff. And then they'll also go over like what you're going to be learning that year. And the first few days of school are usually like super easy. It's just for you to adjust and get used to the school.
I advise bringing a folder, some sort of like notebook, journal, or planner so you can write everything down. Definitely some pencils and pens, a backpack, a lunch if you bring, or money if you buy.
You're definitely going to need a folder because you're going to get a bunch of handouts on the first day. It's going to be really crazy. So definitely a folder, a planner because you're going to get a bunch of due dates thrown at you when you need supplies and everything. I would bring a book bag. I guess you kind of don't need one if you're not bringing a bunch of like folders or anything, but I like to like keep myself organized, so I bring a few folders. Your summer assignments, you have to bring your math and your English summer assignments. They're so important. And a pen and pencil to write everything down.
You do not need to use your locker, trust me. Just use your book bag. I never use my locker. I don't really need to use my locker. People just use their lockers just for putting their hoodies or something in. But just carry a book bag. You should be fine. You don't need a lot of stuff. Just a few binders, a few pencils and pens. You should be totally fine.
Just like in middle school, everybody gets a locker in high school. However, the difference is that they are not mandatory to use like they are in middle school. You can carry on a backpack with all your stuff in it every single day with no problem. For me personally, I have not used my locker not one time since I started high school, and I'm going to be a senior this year. I carry on all my books in my bag, and it's not a problem. It's a little heavy sometimes because I carry a lot of books, but it's doable, it's manageable, it's really, you do whatever is the most convenient for you, which is a really cool thing about high school.
And the lockers are actually really small, so you really can't fit anything in there, but like I know a lot of my friends, they might keep like a textbook in there or something, so it's always good to know your combination in case you need to put something in it, but me personally, I don't really use it.
No, you don't have to. I myself used mine my freshman year, and it did help keep me very organized because I know that I'm not the most organized person.
I have never once in my high school career opened up my locker. You don't need to use it if you just want to carry your stuff in your book bag all day. That's fine. If you want to lighten up your bag, you can throw some things in there. But there's really no rules as far as lockers go.
I used my locker all 3 years so far of high school. I'll probably use it senior year too.
but I use it just because I have a lot of things in my bag and it just lightens the load, and I find a couple minutes in between classes depending on my route to use my locker, and it's super helpful for me. So it kind of depends on the person. I normally like throw my lunch in there before my first 3 classes, that way I can go pick it up and walk to lunch, and it's just a little bit more convenient for me if you don't want to lug around a bunch of stuff all day.
You absolutely cannot fit in them. It's like playing Jenga with like your binders, because you have to stack everything on top of each other. They're like this big.
Unless you're the size of a 5th grader, then you should not have any problems.
I don't think so. I think it's just big enough for your books and just your books. So I don't think anyone can fit in a locker. I'll see you guys in the fall. See you guys on Friday nights. Go Raiders.
I recommend the beginning of the day. So if you get to school early, you can go before you go to your first period of class. Before or after lunch would be a great time, and of course at the end of the day.
Obviously, you kind of have to make up your own schedule, but this is what I've done in the past. My freshman year, I personally went right in the morning, then right before my lunch period, and then at the end of the day. Just recently, this past year though, I eliminated the morning and I just do lunch and at the end of the day, and then at the end of the day, I plan ahead for the next day. So I do like my morning stuff then, and I think that really helps me out.
Important to have a personal life outside of school, because those are the things that kind of keep you intact as a human. That sounds really strange, but I'm sure you'll grow in to understand that. Hanging out with your friends, doing the things you love is very, very important to your mental health and just overall like being genuinely happy and like living a good life. Because if you only surround yourself with like the stresses and like the pressure of like being a good student, being a good athlete, being a good standing member of a club, obviously those are really fun things and good things to do as well, but it's definitely important to also be a human and breathe, because at the end of the day, the outside world isn't just getting an A+ on the biology test. So by all means, yes, study, but also give yourself some time to breathe.
You're going to have to manage your time a lot more different, and you're going to have to, plan out days when you do certain projects or assignments so that you can have time to go to that football game or go out to eat with your friends or this, that, or the other. You want to enjoy high school and not just sit there and stress about academics.
And so for me, for example, football practice usually it's about 4 hours, 5 to 9 at night, and the way you're going to be able to balance it is you have to do your homework as soon as you get home from school, because if you wait until after practice, by the time you get home and shower and do everything, you're not going to be able to start your homework till about 11 o'clock. So you just got to get it out of the way as soon as you can.
This is something that even I still struggle with as a senior, so there really will never be the perfect answer for this question. But the best thing I can suggest doing to you, because I found myself improving greatly with my balancing of these two skills over the past few years. So I think the best thing I've ever done was I use the reminder app on my phone, or I just make running lists or a planner of everything that needs to get accomplished in my life, education-wise and non-education-wise. I consider myself pretty involved in school and also involved with my friend groups and everything like that, but I also maintain good grades and I do all my homework on time. Education is obviously number one priority, but it isn't everything in your life. If you get one bad grade, it's not going to determine the rest of your future, so don't be so hard on yourself when it comes to education. As long as you are trying your best, that is all that you can do, and I think your teachers and you should be proud of yourself for that. Every teacher, again, is there to help you, not scare you. So whether it's your teachers or your administration, your guidance counselor, or even the upperclassmen, we are here to help you and guide you through your freshman year and making this as easy and just being able to breeze through it as possible. Again, this is some of the best years of your life, and I think if you are more involved and active in your school community and the social groups of the school, you're going to love your time here, and before you know it, you may be making this video to the freshmen. So don't take any time for granted and just try your best no matter what you do, and you're going to succeed greatly.
So in the cafeteria you can have your phone and your earpods out, but other than that you cannot have them in the hallway, and they're not allowed in class unless you're doing an activity that pertains to using your phone.
The answer is, in the hallways, absolutely not. Our teachers and our principals are very passionate about this rule, so the best way to stay out of trouble is to not have them out. Unless, of course, you have to use them for class and you're in the class and the teacher says, okay, you can take your phones or earphones out to listen to, I don't know, a video or something. That's fine, of course, but when you are going to the next class, just don't have them out.
A lot of people will tell you is once you get to high school, you know, you're going to have a lot more homework. Like, I know in middle school, I didn't do much homework at home. You know, you could usually finish it like the end of class or whatnot, but high school, I mean, depending on how you budget your time, you could have like minimal homework at the end of the day. I personally didn't do too much work at home. I usually found a lot of time during lunch or in between classes or when I had free time, but it's really, if you budget your time well and you don't wait until the last second for everything, you'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely a big thing in high school is to not procrastinate a lot, because that's how you end up with zeros that are unnecessary for homework that could be an easy grade booster.
And in all honesty, it kind of depends on the teacher that you have. But most teachers don't really give that much homework, and I still have the time to play my sports, just hang out with my friends, and get everything done in the day, and that's exactly what I need.
Your summer assignments are so important to your first marking period grade, and I cannot stress this enough. You need to finish and do your summer assignments. So say for English or math or whatever classes you're taking, you need to make sure that if you have a summer assignment for those classes, you should definitely do them as soon as possible, just so you have them done so you don't have to worry about it, so you could spend the rest of your time with your friends during the summer.
I think everyone should complete the summer assignment. There's no reason not to. You have the entire summer to work on it. It's never anything too crazy. It's not too difficult. And it's also the first impression to your teacher of how you are as a student and a person. So I think just doing the assignment will start off on a good note.
It is so important. Both your math and your English summer assignment are your first test grades for the year. You do not want to start off the year with a 0, because that not only puts you in a hole for a bad grade, but it gives like the impression to the teacher that you're maybe not so responsible. You don't want to do that on the first time.
Yes, because number one, I know it's annoying, I know nobody wants to do it, but it's your first impression with your new teacher, and that's going to set the tone for your whole year. Not only that, but it's going to take up a large portion of your first marking period grade, which matters a lot.
Well, I found when going into it and doing that summer assignment, and you were going to sophomore year and now junior year, I feel that the summer assignment is not supposed to be so stressed upon, but you want to put a good effort into it and, you know, show your incoming teachers a little bit of your style, whether it be annotating or writing or even doing your math work and doing things neatly. You know, it's a little like sample of who you are as a student, and I think that always should be taken into account, and like, you know, effort should be put into it.
The first thing I noticed was all the freedom you have. I noticed this on my first day of my freshman year. I walked in and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a whole different world. You're not treated like little kids anymore. You're treated like adults, and they expect you to act like mature young adults, which you really learn, because that's just the type of school it is. Like, you don't want to mess up because you don't want to disappoint anyone. There's a lot of good kids around.
For me, I don't know about you, but I think for me the biggest difference between middle school and high school is that you're more on your own in high school. So like as far as middle school, you're in I think cycles, and you all go to classes like in groups with your class like at the same time. High school, there's going to be a lot of people who are in the majority of your classes, but you're just going to have to be able to get to your own classes on time.
Especially with the freshman academy system, you tend to have the same people from each color. I believe you're in different colors, and those people will be kind of a mixture of all the people in those colors will be in your classes, depending on whether or not you chose honors or CP. And that's also a good way to make friends and like kind of get find things in common with other people and meet a variety of different people while still familiarizing yourself with the school, and it's not too overwhelming with having everyone in the classes. So it's a good transition from middle to high school.
And the biggest difference between middle school and high school for me is that you have much more freedom and opportunity in high school. Just as far as even like having lunch or the different sports and clubs there are. There's just so much for you guys to get involved with, and I definitely recommend that you do as much as you can.
Obviously, a ton of differences, but I think most importantly, the biggest difference between the two is that in high school, you are on your own in a good way, and you're finding yourself. Obviously, no one's walking down the halls with you holding your hand. You kind of are more on your own, and it's a good thing because you learn to be more independent on your own self.